The Rangers have given multiple surprising updates, and this has major implications for one blue shirt in particular because I'm going to tell you why his big Broadway debut is going to have to wait. I break it all down in just a moment on another sizzling edition of Rangers Digest. Welcome back to Rangers Digest. We are built for blue shirt fandom, and I'm your host, Bret Botfeld. It is great to be back with you guys on this beautiful Thursday, the 2nd of October. And guys, we are just a few calendar days away until the start of meaningful hockey. Can't wait for it. We have a ton to get into here today, folks. But before we do that, a quick reminder to smash that subscribe button. About 77% of you who currently watch these videos are still unsubscribed to the channel, so please go down below, hit that free subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it so you can stay up to date with everything happening New York Rangers, because this is the place to be for all your daily New York Rangers content. Not only that, guys, so you could be part of something special here at Rangers Digest. Let's waste no more time and hop right into today's video. So, guys, we have multiple things going on here. Like I said, the Rangers are playing hockey tonight. Preseason action at home against the New Jersey Devils, rivals. Hopefully, we kick their butt. And like I said, just a few calendar days away until meaningful hockey. Can't wait for it. But here's Colin Stevenson talking about the New York Rangers skate this morning, saying that JT Miller skated on his own this morning with a coach. Sam Carrick is out of the non-contact jersey and is a full go, guys. This is great news, especially, JT Miller seems to be trending in the right direction here, guys. Hopefully, he's able to give it a go on opening night. It would be great to have the captain out there in those new beautiful jerseys, which we'll get into later on here in the video. And Sam Carrick also trending in the right direction, so good stuff to see there. Moving along, here are the lineups, guys. Here are the lineups from this morning's skate. Probably the starting lineups for tonight's game against the New Jersey Devils. Vince Mercogliano had it. Here's how they lined up this morning. Some interesting twists, guys, with the defensive pairs, which we are certainly going to get into here in a moment. Talking about Scott Morrow, his last chance to make the big varsity team here. First line, Panarin, Trocheck, Lafreniere. Good to see Panarin back in action. Laffy on that first line. You guys know how I feel about this first line. The chemistry that these three have developed. 2023-24, one of the most effective lines in all of hockey. Not only that, last year during a down year, they still outscored their opponents together in 60 games, outscoring opponents 36-28. That second line, obviously, no JT Miller, so Mika Zibanejad moving over to second line center. You have Will Cooley, Mika Zibanejad, and Gabe Perreault. Guys, this is very interesting as well because with JT out, it is great to see Gabe Perreault step in at second line right wing. He has looked electric. He has looked elusive during camp, during the preseason. And guys, we have said it here on the channel. I know you guys feel the same way. Gabe Perreault has a chance to be a very effective top six player in this league, and we can see him get great production playing in the top six, playing with the big boys like this. Now this third line, we're going to break this down further in the video as well. Connor Sheary, Huso Parssinen, Taylor Radish. Mike Sullivan seems to really like this line, really like Connor Sheary. Obviously, there are some politics involved. The Rangers signed Huso Parssinen and Taylor Radish to 2-year contracts. Huso Parssinen, let's not forget Chris Drury prioritized this player to start the summer, so I expect these two, Parssinen and Radish, to at least start the first 10 to 20 games this season and see how it goes. Then you got this fourth line here, Adam Edstrom, Noah Laba. This is really interesting to see, guys. We've just mentioned it. Sam Carrick is back skating today, going to give it a go, but look at Noah Laba there, replacing him up the middle on that identity fourth line with Matt Rempe. And you know what's crazy, guys? Just when you thought that line couldn't get any bigger, it actually did, because Sam Carrick is a big dude, but Noah Laba is a beast, 6'2", well over 200 pounds. The guy is yoked out of his mind, playing on a line today with Edstrom and Rempe. Gosh, that is a scary looking sight, no doubt about that. And then we move along here, Berard, Carrick, Brzezinski. We expect Brzezinski probably to be a 13th, 14th forward type of player. Berard, not looking great for him, not looking like he's going to start the season, despite his production last year, battling through that injury. I like what he brings to the table, a real Energizer Bunny. He's also opportunistic. But then we get to the defensive side, the blue line, Vaakanainen and Fox, guys. I don't like these pairings at all. Hopefully, Mike Sullivan just trying to get it out of his system here. But you got to go Gavrikov, Fox. You just have to do that. And you see Gavrikov with Schneider, Soucy, Borgen, Robertson, and Morrow. We're going to touch on Morrow here in this video. But I've said it time and time again, guys. We all know Schneider is still recovering from that injury, just coming back from surgery. Only has one game, under his belt since that surgery, getting reacclimated, getting back to game speed, talking about needing to adjust, making those quick hockey decisions. He hasn't played in a long time, just that one game. So I truly believe that him starting the season on the right side, not moving to the left like the Rangers have talked about, is going to push Scott Morrow out. If you moved Braden Schneider to the left side on that second pair, that would have pushed Urho Vaakanainen out, which would have opened up a spot for Scott Morrow on that third pair on the right side. But with Schneid's starting the season on the right side, Scott Morrow likely to be a seventh defenseman. We're going to break that down further. No point in him sitting in the press box. It makes more sense for him to start the season in Hartford if he is not going to crack the top six. Moving along, this is an excellent point from Chris on X. If the Rangers want to test out Sheary, Parson, and Radish as that defensively responsible two-way line, that's fine and makes enough sense. But 15 to 20 games in, if they're just getting cardio in more than anything, a kid should get the call up. I agree with this, guys. I said it. They're going to get first crack, first dibs. Mike Sullivan, going to trust the veterans. Hopefully, wants to get off to a hot start here, wants to get off to a fast start, not take a chance with the kids. But like Chris says, if that lineup needs some juice, you got to bring in Perreault, put him on the right side for Radish, or you got to substitute Parsonen for Laba up the middle, or you can move Sheary, replace him with Otter or Bret Botfeld. That would certainly give the Rangers some juice, but no doubt about it, Mike Sullivan is probably going to go with his veterans to start the season. Moving along to Scott Morrow here, I brought him up a little while ago. The past two practices, Morrow's been partnered with Matthew Robertson on the fourth pair. Gavrikov and Fox make up the number one pair, but you see tonight, they are not going to be playing together, which I don't like. Veterans Carson Soucy and Will Borgen reunited on the second pair after doing so earlier in their careers with the Kraken, and the third pair appears to be set with Vaakanainen and Schneider, guys. Soucy and Borgen, they're reuniting from their time together in Seattle. Let's make no mistake about it. Let's be blunt. That was not a very effective pair in Seattle, and we know how Soucy has looked since coming to the Rangers. I love Borgen, but Soucy has been a complete disaster. And like I said, Schneider starting the year on that right side really created a logjam and pushed Morrow out of the opening night lineup, in my opinion. But since we're on the topic of Scott Morrow, before we get into some comments from Mike Sullivan, you can see here, if this remains the case, Morrow seems to be destined for Hartford. Sitting in the press box, like I said earlier, doesn't serve him any good. He's better starting the year in the AHL, playing 20 minutes a night in all game situations and on both special teams, on the penalty kill, quarterbacking the power play unit as well. But let's hear what Sully had to say about Scott Morrow this far. He said, "We're thrilled that he's a Ranger. We really like what we've seen at this point." Sullivan raved about Morrow following practice Wednesday. "I think he's a big, strong kid," Sullivan said about the 6'2", 210-pounder who has 2 points, a goal, and an assist in the preseason. "I think he skates well and has some offensive instincts. He has the ability to run a power play up top. I think he's getting better defending, and that's an area I'm fairly confident our coaching staff can help him with there." Guys, we know about the offensive game from Scott Morrow. I mean, he set records in college at the University of Massachusetts, becoming the first freshman in their program to put up 30 points plus as a defenseman. You see Sullivan talking about he's continuing to grow on the defensive side, but like I said, Sullivan probably going to rock with his veterans and try to get off to a quick start, to start his tenure here in New York. Moving along the power play units, like I said, Morrow, this is really his last chance to make an impression on Mike Sullivan. Only one more preseason game after tonight. Quarterbacking that power play unit. I talked about the offensive skill set. He's going to be playing with the big boys here. Great to see Lafreniere continuing to get power play 1 work. You see Schneider quarterbacking the power play 2 unit. No surprise there. We know he can handle the puck. And some of the young kids, you see Perreault, Cooley playing together. I really like what Rempe has brought to the table as well, sticking his big body in front of the net. That has been great to see. But before we wrap up here, guys, a couple quick hits. Want to get into this really fast. The Rangers, the 2025 NHL franchise valuations, ordered from the highest valued team to the lowest, has just been released. The Rangers coming in at number 2, right behind Toronto. The Rangers valued at $3.65 billion, not million, with a B, billion dollars. And the last thing, guys, these beautiful Centennial jerseys, the Rangers will be using them, playing with them in 10 games this season, and the first glimpse of them we will get will be on opening night, just a few days away, October 7th at the Garden against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Dan Muse, Sullivan's old team. This is going to be a fierce battle. I can't wait for it. But leave your comments down below. What do you think about Scott Morrow? Is he going to crack the top 6? Tonight is probably his last opportunity to really make a strong case there. If not, should he sit in the press box, be a 7th defenseman, or would you like to see him start the season in Hartford, play 20-plus minutes a night? Leave your comments down below. Also, give us a follow on X. It's in the description at Rangers Digest YT. Give us a follow on TikTok as well. We just launched it at Rangers Digest YT as well. And if you haven't, hit that free subscribe button. Hit that button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers. Enjoy the game tonight, guys.